So over the last couple of weeks, we've been telling you all these different ways that you can give back and help those impacted by COVID-19. Well, if you've had the virus in the past, here's something that you can do.
It was actually really interesting because a couple of weeks ago, we were incredibly worried that there was going to be a blood shortage. You probably saw a lot of the press pushes and things like that. And people came out in droves. They really responded. So here in Florida and across the country, we've actually got a bit of an excess of blood at this point, which is great because we're all worried about what's going to happen when people finally do stop coming in to donate. I certainly don't think anybody should stop donating blood. I'll never say that. But, you know, if you can't do it today, certainly think about it in a week and keep trying to come back whenever you can.
So now let's talk about the release that you guys recently sent out about plasma. Let's kind of just break it down from the beginning. Why do we need that, and how does that process work?
Sure. So it's called convalescent plasma. And what that means is somebody has had the disease and they've healed from it, essentially. They've gotten better. And when you get better from one of these coronaviruses, you make antibodies. So the theory is that if you have antibodies in your plasma, you can give those to a patient who's really sick. And those will give them sort of a passive immunity, if you want to think about it, like give them antibodies that their body hasn't had the chance to make yet. And there's been some decent data coming out of China with this particular virus. And there's a precedent for it with some older coronaviruses that are related, if you remember the first SARS and MERS-CoV. So while it's not a proven treatment, it is one of the few that has shown some promise early on. So we're really excited about being able to collect for that. And get it to our hospitals here in Florida and throughout our footprint.
So what is the difference between someone walking in for a blood donation and then a plasma donation? Does that look any different to them?
Sure. So typically, most people are used to a whole blood donation, which is, you just put the blood in a bag, more or less. With these plasma donations, we're going to do an apheresis collection, which if you donate platelets, it's the same type of thing. You're hooked up to a machine. And basically what that does is it takes your blood out, separates the parts, and then returns everything with the plasma back to you. And that's a little bit longer procedure than whole blood, but you get somewhere between 2 and 3 units out of it. And a lot of the studies that they're doing now are either treating with 1 unit, 2 at the most. So you could potentially have 3 doses of this that come out of that for patients who need it. People are working, constantly, and data is coming out in real time. So every day we learn something new. You heard lots of people are trying to work with different drugs. The convalescent plasma, there's actually a national effort that's going to be coordinated for that so that we can get it to places who need it. So really, it's basically, I would say, if you have recovered from this disease, we have specific criteria if you want to donate this convalescent plasma. You have to be at least 14 days symptom-free. If you're between 14 and 28 days, then we need a negative test that you've had one. And I realize a lot of people aren't getting negative tests or having tests when they're asymptomatic. So that can be hard. But if you're 28 days or more out from symptoms, you can donate without that negative test. So all you need is an original positive test and then 28 days out. And if you can manage to get a negative test in between 14 and 28 days, that's great. But we do realize that's a bit hard for a lot of people.
Okay, so now if anyone has, any questions, wants some more information about the plasma part of it, because that's a little bit more involved, where should they go?
So if you want just general information about donating, you can go to lifesouth.org. We've also got some COVID resources there. If you had the disease and recovered, and you want to get more information about the convalescent plasma program, you can email us at medicaloffice@lifesouth.org, and it's just medical office spelled normal, and we can get you more information.
You can check out all this information again on our website, firstcoastliving.net.